Good day, folks, and welcome to yet another exciting episode of M&D Made Simple. I'm your host, Coach Alexander, and today we're going to be discussing a very interesting topic, like all topics. What is an M&E plan? Now, I'm sure you've heard this word before, and it's not something new, especially to the specialists, especially to those who are in charge of managing programs or projects. An M&E plan, folks, is a document that simply outlines M&E functions, how they'll be carried out, who will be responsible, what will be monitored, what will be the tools used over a period of time for a specific intervention. But I won't want to just let you know my definition, but we can go straight to Google because, like I always say, Google has a lot of material which has been submitted by so many different people around the world. So let's just type there what is an M&E plan, and from there on we can be able to discuss further. So I'm typing what is an M&E plan. So you can see already it's close to 630,000 results. So there's so much material there. So it says here an M&E plan is a table that builds upon a project program's logram to detail key M&E requirements for each indicator and assumptions. It allows program staff at the field level to track progress towards specific targets for better transparency and accountability within and outside the whatever this means. It could be, this definition could have been tailored to maybe this organization. Now let's look for another definition. Let's go to this one here. Okay. It mentions a monitoring and evaluation plan describes how the whole M&D system for the program works. This includes the indicators, who is responsible for collecting them, what forms and tools will be used, and how the data will flow through the organization. What I like about this definition is that it actually tells you straight on what an M&D plan is. So you see, folks, in every organization, there is need for an M&D plan, and especially when there are so many programs being implemented, so many projects, project staff, management, and even M&D personnel need to be able to refer to these particular documents. So as you can see, this website is called Tools for Development, and they've even given you a template that describes how you can develop an M&D plan for one project and an M&D plan for multiple projects. Yeah, and it's quite interesting because, you know, in an organization you will discover that, like I mentioned earlier on, there will be so many projects you are implementing. It wouldn't be wise to have an M&D plan for each project, although that could be the ideal situation, but it would just be a wastage of resources. So they even give you how you can develop multiple projects. Now let's just download, maybe let's see what kind of plan they are recommending. So where do I open? Okay, just open from there. Okay, so when developing a plan, you can put your organization logo, the organization name, the project title, and then they even give you the table of contents, the introduction, purpose of the plan, project summary, logical framework, and so on and so forth. So you must understand that this plan really is meant to also help the organization become more efficient as they carry out M&D interventions, because you discover that sometimes the role of a project manager or a program manager can be confused with what an M&D officer should be doing. So this plan actually clearly outlines where do does the project officer come in the whole M&D cycle? And what is the role of that officer, or what is the role of the M&D specialist in the whole project? So this document outlines all that. So I would advise you to take time, perhaps there's so much material on a monitoring and evaluation plan. Now, there's one key note you need to understand, folks, is that when it comes to an M&D plan, you discover that when writing proposals to donors or stakeholders who are willing to fund your project, normally they would like to see the M&D component come out clearly. And if you have an M&D plan with you to submit to them, that is a good indication to well-wishers who want to fund your interventions. And the reason is simple, is that M&E is looked at as an important tool to enhancing accountability in any organization. So when potential donors see that you take M&D seriously, they will know that actually their money is not going to waste. They're able to track performance, and they'll be given that chance to decide whether they should fund you or not based on whatever you're offering to them. So really, it's always good to have an M&D plan. So what does it take to develop an M&D plan? Well, really, it does not take too much effort. Of course, it requires a lot of effort, but what I'm saying here, it shouldn't be too complicated, because if you're always going to say, no, we need a consultant, we need money, then you won't move forward. The truth of the matter is that once you have M&D specialists within the organization, the person who should coordinate this development should actually be the person responsible for M&D, and then he should work together with all program staff. This should be including the program manager himself and field officers. And then if resources are available, a workshop can be held to clearly understand what they are all looking for, because this process should be participatory, since there will be a lot of key players when it comes to data collection, analysis, and reporting. However, since it's always sometimes a money issue, there should be some resources devoted to carrying out such activities. So like if you have, for instance, in an organization, there's an M&D officer there. That M&D officer should have his own budget, and that budget should be formulated by he or herself, so that ensures that he can incorporate such activities. All right, and in that case, it won't be complicated in the long run. So really, every program should have an M&D plan, and when doing proposals to potential donors, when they see a M&D plan present and it's detailed, clearly outlining how information will be collected, analyzed, and reported on, that builds confidence and thus more funding. That's all I had for you today, folks, and I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave your comments after the video. I've been really happy getting some feedback by others who've watched some of my videos, but I'll be really happy to hear from you. I'm your host, Coach Alexander, and see you on the other side.